live stream on YouTube from the Trang, Vietnam. I'm walking by the beach right now and the weather is nice. So yeah, open for some Q&A. Feel free to ask questions. Also happy to show you the environment, beach and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's wait for the people. As I said, it's a spontaneous live stream. That's why I don't have my holder. Fortunately, I had the microphone on me, but I don't have stabilizers, so it is a little bit shaky. Hey, Redhead Warrior. Definitely not in war right now, but thanks. How are you doing? Hope all is good. Closer to the road now, but I'm gonna move on closer to the coast. Are you a vegan? No, I used to be vegetarian though, more pescatarian. Occasionally would eat fish, but didn't really watch my diet. And obviously, even without trying, I was suffering from the lack of the bioavailable protein. So never again, but respect other people's choices. Let me show you the beach. It's lovely here. They say no swimming, but people do swim sometimes. All is good. Oh, good to hear that. I hope the camera is not too shaky. Brazil? No, that's Vietnam, Nha Trang. It's well, basically out of part of the globe. Opinion on the UFC betting scandal. You mean the was it the fight night thing where they're saying that it was the fight was rigged? I didn't watch that event, but I read about the scandal. They're doing the investigations. I don't know. As I said, I didn't watch fight, but when that many people say that that fight clearly was rigged, there could be at least a reason to investigate it. Howdy, Kyla. How you doing? Caught you live. Yay. No, great. I'm trying to do it more often now, so I'll definitely do it more so you can catch me live more often. But again, another view. This is a pretty part. This is like one of my favorite parts of the coast in entire Nha Trang. So you can just get your just put the mat or the blanket on the sand, have a picnic or just hang out. It's very peaceful, and there is like one of the main roads right here, but it's very nice, very chill out there. Obviously there are some quieter places, quieter coastlines, quieter beaches, but yeah, I like this area. You're best. Thank you. Please show your country. Well, my country is Georgia, so you can watch some of the videos I made in Georgia, but here right now it's Vietnam. Another view. I'm gonna switch camera back and forth just to show you every now and then how it looks. Yeah, it needs more investigating, someone says. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Again, if it was that suspicious. I didn't watch the fight, so I cannot tell you my opinion. But if that many people and other professional athletes in the field and former professional athletes say the same thing, then it has to be investigated. Happy Wednesday. Hi. Someone waved. Hockey season is in full swing. I've been super busy too. I mean, super great. I'm glad that you've been busy, and that's like a sport related. Super cool to know. thinking to maybe sit for a little bit just down here. Like that. Look through the chat. Very peaceful. Where? It is Vietnam, the Trang. Yeah, I would. It's becoming more and more touristy even in the off-season, but man, it's beautiful. It's definitely since worth to come and visit. And for us, we love living here. We love spending most of our time in the Trang. Yeah. Or we need to relax and wait for investigation. It could destroy UFC. Yeah, I mean, UFC suffered. It's not the first scandal. There were different types of big, like starting from the issued later on issued drug test results from some fighters. I think I really couldn't remember the fighter, but there was the big scandal against one of the fighters. And like in the history of UFC, there have been some occasions that was putting it in a bad spotlight. But now it's also, UFC is getting bigger. It has more visibility, and obviously those kind of scandals is way more harmful than it used to be. Salam in Dagestan, like from Dagestan. We're back in the Trang now. For how long do you think? Maybe next few months. Life is easy and peaceful and calm here, and it's just, I don't know. It just feels better to save up finances, just keep the routine going. We were very happy here all the 10 months we spent, and then for a couple 3 months it was complete mess, and then we're just back here and everything feels right. Is there Mexicans there? I think so. There are people quite from pretty much from everywhere. Okay. Hi from USA. Hi. I'm definitely not a Muslim. Sorry, but that's my least favorite religion, though I'm not generally single-handedly a religion following one or another religion. I'm from Orthodox Christian country, but I can tell you that I identify myself as the devoted Christian, but I definitely share some of the beliefs, and lately been looking into the Hinduism and reading a lot of philosophy. So I'm just a curious person with building up my personal belief system. So quite flexible. You will be on prelims in fight night, and then you'll chance for championship. I mean, are you talking about me? Not really looking into the UFC like in that way. Well, in the boxing, kind of, yeah, there you have an event. In the beginning you get to go prelims, and then the more visibility you become, the better record you get. Then you get into the main card and stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna remind you guys, just please be respectful, because I'm just gonna hide out some nonsense. I'm just gonna delete people from the channel for not behaving. Alright, well, look at the view again. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to sit here and chill a little bit and show you, give you a chance to be here, right here with me for a little moment. Kyla says, I'm glad you're happy there in Vietnam and at peace. I'm happy you were able to go back home to Georgia for a bit. I love seeing your videos from there. Thank you very much. And yeah, it was not, I'm not saying it was bad to be back. It was just a little bit messy period, but it was definitely, it had its positives. Very happy to be back, see my family and friends. But as I said, the life goes on, the adventures goes on, and right now it's just makes sense for us to be here. Where you at? This is Trang, Vietnam. Hello, is it windy there? It is windy, but in a very nice way. Even at the hottest season, you always have this nice cool wind, and it makes it way better. Stop trolling, please be respectful. Yes, that's right. He says that. What's your Instagram ID? Well, you can check it in my YouTube bio description. Though I'll tell you, I rarely engage into the Instagram stuff, and like I usually I respond to friends, family members, that kind of stuff. So just letting you know about that. Enjoy the Thailand beach. Oh, close enough, but yeah, it's Vietnam, which is Thailand has beautiful beaches too, no doubt. But this place is, I don't know. Oh, the palm. I'm gonna keep walking. I don't know. Some people like it more here. I've never been in Thailand yet, so I cannot compare from the first hand. What time is there, if you don't mind me asking? Of course not. It's 2:05 p.m. So it's like an afternoon. How many fights have you had? Amateur boxing, 5 official fights. I think it was 2 losses and 3 wins, including my national, Georgian national. I had 1 fight because at that point there were not many girls. Then I had open ring sparring, which were way more in the fight, but they're not recorded. And I'm talking about amateur boxing. So I never had professional fights, but that's the one thing I'm looking into. So the channel is basically about me training, sharing the tips, but also showing my journey, how I prepare and start the professional record. Yeah, and I haven't fought in a while. I had a couple of sparring back in Georgia, like heavy ones. Not my favorite. Not the sparrings where you actually learn. Those are sparrings where you just basically like fights where you just get. Oh, interesting. I don't know if you can see that, but it's been, I don't know, is it like a funeral ritual? Someone famous died? Or what was that? I don't know. Interesting. But anyways, yeah. Most likely, sorry for that guys, it's a little bit loud. Most likely, I'm gonna do my first fight in Southeast Asia anyway, so it kind of makes sense for us to be in this part of the world for now. I've liked the stream. Thank you, appreciate it. Future UFC champ. Yeah, thanks for having faith in me, but for UFC, I have soft legs, for example. I don't mind wrestle and grapple. I actually quite like it, but leg kicks, man, I hate those. And well, as much as I like throwing knees, like I prefer knees rather than throwing legs and elbows, but those are not nice when they land on you. So yeah, there are certain things that it would take so much time to actually prepare for it. Whether for boxing, it's just, for me, I already have that technique. Some things need to be polished, but it's not a big of the deal. And I just need to gain more endurance, and basically I'm ready to start. Oh, this is the pretty part. Let me look at it. So you have like a staircase, which I'm gonna go down, but carefully. Make sure I don't sleep. It's very nice and a little bit rocky right over there. I've seen a lot of people meditate. They just come over on the beach or like on those stone sections and they just chill, meditate, even do some training and stretching. Got the fire champion. Very magnificent there. Yeah, it's very pretty. I agree. 10 p.m. here. Well, that means you are in the, I think, US probably. Here it is 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Yeah, 2 p.m. Or maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. Where are you from? That's the time difference for with US is around between 8, 9 to 12 hours. So if it's 7 hours, that's somewhere else. Get back to solid ground. Modes, yeah, there are some people, but sometimes they're not here. My husband is also moderating, but he's not right now in the chat. I'm supposed to be at the beach in Florida on vacation, but my puppy dog went blind, so I had to stay behind to help care for her. So this is the closest I get to the beach, lol. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for your puppy in the first place, and sorry for a little bit of ruined vacation. But I hope everything goes well. And I don't know if it's possible for your puppy to recover. Because I don't know how you can just get blind like that unless you already have some sort of disease or trauma. So I don't know. Let me know how it goes. Warrior, you've been born to fight. Yeah, I mean, I fight in my life for sure. I can tell you, I'm not a very violent person. Hey, nice to meet you. Hi. What's the most annoying karaoke song? I think Tequila. I mean, as much as it's funny, but more and more people do that who cannot sing at all, and it just plays, and then they say everyone says Tequila. I think that one is quite annoying. Alaska, that's why I asked, crazy the time difference in the world, ma'am. Yeah, okay. I thought in the back of my head about Alaska, but couldn't say for sure. Oh, that's cool. And Taylor Swift songs. I probably have heard Taylor Swift songs a couple times here in Vietnam, and they love karaoke. They usually sing Vietnamese songs. Obviously, there are places where you can sing whatever. And I did a little bit of karaoke hosting in one of the American-style bars here, and yeah, people didn't really sing that much of the Taylor Swift, which I'm not really a fan. So I think that's good for me. What's your favorite male UFC fighter? Obviously, I always put Georgian fighters, Merab and Ilya, in the first place. But I would say Alex Pereira, like one of my favorites. There are many others that I really do like, because it's about not only single, like few individuals. It's about all of them having their stories, and some of the stories are cool. Like I love Volk, for example. I love the fact that there are some people who actually know Alexander Volkanovski from his cooking channel. So then they find out, oh, he's a UFC guy, or no, he's like the cooking guy. So that is hilarious. I like Volk and his personality and his fighting style. So yeah, that's the fighters I just mentioned. I look like someone's relative. Well, we always look like someone. You know, that's kind of normal. Being a warrior is more about love than violence. You already know this. Yeah, reminds me of this book. It's by Dan Millman, Peaceful Warrior, a very interesting book. Well, at least I read the first one. There are other like continuance of it, but you can try to look it up. It's very interesting. It's been tough. Piper is handling a lot better than I am. She's only 2 years old. I think this Krita trio, flea, tick, had worm prevention, costed, but not 100% positive. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Sorry, and I hope it gets better. But yeah, unfortunately, the saddest thing is when it happens to our little friends, our pets, our animals, our companions. Somehow it's because in our eyes they're so defenseless against it. We're the ones who are responsible for them, and it's even when we cannot do anything. It's just hurts as twice as much. Have you ever heard Bollywood music? Yeah, some of it. What's the most annoying thing people do during karaoke? Well, I can't tell you exactly, but one thing was there were some drunk tourists, and their like bar was packed, and I was ending my shift, and then it would switch for the normal music, but I had to go, and I was literally packing. I just went back because I forgot my phone, and those three drunk Russian women came to me. Literally, they had this mic, and they literally shouted right in my teeth. And at that point, I had my braces on, and my lip started bleeding. And they're like, "Oh, sorry," but they were like, then they continued. And I was like pissed as hell, but obviously, I just took my phone. Went on the fresh air. So that was maybe the most annoying thing that happened to me personally. What about Uncle Live? I mean, I don't have any, like, I don't dislike him, but not my favorite character for sure. Tonight is my MMA match day. Please pray for me. Absolutely. Wish you the best of luck. Tell me in the lightweight division. Okay, let me think. Like of all time or current ones? Well, lightweight definitely Ilya Topuria. And it's a little bit like now it's like you have Ilya, Paddy, like the younger ones. And then you have like Gagey, you have Arman Tsarukyan. Arman Tsarukyan is also a younger one. So yeah, you have. I mean, again, I would say Ilya. I love like older generation. Dustin Poirier, he just retired. I like Gagey, Justin Gagey. Sorry for I just thought there was something. Yeah, Max Holloway, all these guys. So yeah, it depends how you ask. McGregor era, then the Khabib era, then you had Tony Ferguson. Like there are quite a lot of guys. Then it's the heaviest, the most packed division, so it's kind of hard to choose. Also, a lot of you have featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, and those fighters. A lot of them they come from both the down and the upper division too. So it's like lightweight is kind of like a place where a lot of fighters gather essentially. At this point, again, I will stick with Ilya. The voice says she will be blind forever, and even says we will probably have to have her left eye removed, but I believe God can work miracles and not giving up on her. Yeah, that's sad. Well, good thing about dogs is it might be a little bit odd way to comfort you, but unlike us, they actually has such a strong sense of sense. They can smell things. They actually can navigate, like just by doing that. So that's why, yeah, like blind dogs are not as. I don't know if you're blind as a person, it's harder, I think. So for dogs, I knew some blind dogs that I didn't, and cats too. And I haven't even recognized them unless their eyes are removed, because they just learn to navigate with their other senses, and they have quite strong senses. peaceful warrior. What you say, peaceful warrior? Yes. It's not red, it's brown hair. It's brown looks good on you. Well, it's a little bit a weird color today because it's just it's a little bit foggy and it looks like this, but usually I dye my hair ginger, like a bronze type of ginger, like sometimes almost orange, and just sometimes fades away, but it's definitely not brown if you look at it from the like a real perspective. Okay, and keep scrolling up, guys. Okay, another show off. There's the coastal area, and it goes all the way there. You like Islam Makhachev? Yes, I definitely do. And actually, out of Dagestani fighters, he is by far my favorite. Like combination of his personality, sense of humor, and his fighting, of course, and his record. Yeah, Islam Makhachev. And unpopular opinion, but Islam is ahead of Khabib at this point already. That's my and some people's opinion. Hi from Pakistan. Hi. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia, but right now I'm in Vietnam. Who you will support 15th or GDM or Makhachev? I mean, as I said, I like Makhachev. I also like GDM. I just don't know on that one exactly how it goes. I definitely think that it can go either way. So I don't have a specific prediction or opinion how it goes. So I'm excited to see that fight. Hello, you gave me good advice before my fight a week ago on how to be free. Just go for it and just trust your training. Okay, and I hope that goal went well. Alex Boatan. Can you help me to figure out why am I retarded? Don't we all have that question sometimes? Can someone help us to figure that out? I got a draw in MMA amateur, but I had fought with COVID and gassed out in the first round and had to go for clinch last 2 rounds, and honestly barely survived with controlled time though. I got outstruck. Well, I mean, you adapted and you got the draw, right? So again, that's not the win, but it's not a loss either. So you did enough to be able to do the draw, and that's good. Considering that your health was not perfect. I mean, unless you are like one of the best strikers, even elite strikers getting outstruck by other elite strikers. So there's always levels to it. So it's common that someone is better at something. So it's MMA, right? So you gotta use what you have. Congratulations on your control time, and that's awesome that you put all of that you had, and it didn't end up into a loss. Next time, wish you to win. Charlie Kirk was the last hope for saving our youth. Well, with Charlie Kirk, I think many Charlie Kirks were born. I think a lot of people just really started changing their opinions. A lot of young people started getting more to the stronger values. You don't have to be like a Christian. You don't have to be necessarily be in a church, though he was devoted Christian, right? It's about having those core values, being family oriented, country oriented, community oriented, and really like be with that mindset that not only thinking about yourself and your own freedom and your own only about yourself, but you know, having this sense of the values like patriotism and teamwork and all that kind of stuff, right? Respecting others. So yeah, but please don't spam, okay? Just guys, just please don't spam. I agree. I respected Charlie Kirk. On most of the things I agreed with him. I liked his debate manner. I don't think he was mean at all. I think he was always reasonable. I've seen him, people say he'd been saying divisive things. No, I've seen him saying, actually telling people that they shouldn't break families over politics. And it doesn't matter if left wing, right wing. So he said some stuff that were maybe controversial for some people, but he said way more stuff that actually made sense. So yeah, rest in peace. Very, very big loss for the America. Okay, my friend, but please don't spamming because I will time you out. Okay. This is Caucasian region. Well, I'm from Caucasian region. I'm from Georgia originally, so I spent there pretty much 22 years of my life, and then last 3 years it's been a little bit more traveling. Are you typically smaller fighter in your bouts? Yes, I always been, but I always heavier weight too. I was struggling to cut the weight, and well, just was no one who could teach me how to do that. But essentially, now I'm quite low. I'm like 54. I thought I was 53, but I was like 54. And I'm cutting down up all the way down to 50, and maybe even do water cut for 48, like a minimal weight in boxing, just to have a little bit of, not necessarily height advantage, but don't have that too big of disparity. You know what I mean? Because I'll be honest, I hate working with the taller ones. I adapted, I learned how to do it. I think I'm getting better at it, but at the same time, it just sometimes can get very annoying. What's your opinion about yourself, face, and mentally? I don't know. I'm just trying to live my life, but trying to build something, trying to create relationships, community, create some value in life. That's it. Thank you so much. Your advice helped me mentally before my first fight. I'm a follower of yours on all platforms, and also wish you the best in your martial art career and trainings. Thank you very much. That's very sweet of you. And same, I wish you all the best in your career. No, I'm not Russian. I have some Russian and Ukrainian roots, but I'm originally from Georgia. Guten Tag. Do you respect yourself? Yeah, I do. Are you married? Yes. Where are you from? As I said, I'm from Georgia. Hello again. Good luck, Georgian Redhead. Merapis machine. I need to go there someday. To Georgia. Yeah, I think some very smart Georgian guys. I think that's Greco-Roman wrestling guys. They actually made a camp. Come to 2-3 months to Georgia and forget type of thing. And I think they do trainings, they do some accommodation, but also they show you around Tbilisi and some other parts of the Georgia. Since it's small, so I guess that's a combination. And you meet some Georgian wrestler friends, and I think that's quite fun. So I'm not sure how it's called on Instagram, but it just popped up on my Instagram feed once, and this Georgian guy was speaking like a Georgian English, like Jack dude. Freestyle wrestling or Greco-Roman wrestling, but I think it's a cool thing. So already some foreigners been to Georgia, like by in that camp sort of thing. Great scenery you're in, makes me wish to travel just like you. Start small, start from cheaper countries, more available, affordable countries for depending where you're from. Just go for it. Wishing you a nice day. Thank you. Rest in peace, America. You're 22 years old. You're younger that knows little, do nothing. First of all, I'm 25. I said I lived in Georgia, the country. Then I didn't say rest in peace, America. I said rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. And that's a big loss for America. So I think you have a problem with perceiving, like missing out some words. And well, I'm from Georgia, the country. We have a little bit better educational system than in US, maybe. Okay, jokes aside, maybe not. But the point is, I have an internet. I was able to learn English, and I'm able to do the research and reach out to the information. So if you put the age comparing to the knowledge or education or information, especially nowadays where information is available, it just takes a little bit of effort to acquire it, then you're in the wrong place, my friend. You can go somewhere else and take care of your day. Do you like Jon Jones? I admit that Jon Jones is the best, one of the best fighting IQs, but he's definitely not the cleanest fighter. I can tell you that. You're beautiful inside and out. Thank you, Kyla. I always have your support. Yeah, London Frost says, she said 20 years ago. Yeah, thanks, guys. Some of you, thanks for standing up for me. I really appreciate it. Sometimes I don't have to explain things because people in the chat say, who watch me for some time, they say things for me. Yes, I've always been the shorter fighter. I learned to be an aggressive counter fighting, countering in combinations. That's good. Attacking, like pressuring constantly. Even though you counter, you don't have to back off, because you can counter from the secondary position, meaning working as a second number or defensive position, or you can still pressing your opponent and catch them on the counters, which is more intimidating, I would tell you that. Because in the second place, in the first situation, at least, even though you're getting outboxed by a defensive counter puncher, at least you have the feeling that you push and you still can brawl through sometimes, you know? When you are an offensive counter puncher, I think that is quite intimidating, don't you think? Attacking in terms of angles, fading to create an entry, investigating body. I think that's the best strategy for the shorter boxers. Yeah, I agree. That's a good way to put it. I'm from New Zealand, where I visit that man, and you have a good energy, so chill. Thanks. Yeah, some of us. Well, I don't know. As much as I'm always been chill, but when I start speaking Georgian, it sometimes sounds like I'm fighting, like yelling. But it's just we're a little bit like Italians. We sometimes speak loud and with hands in Georgian. So me in English is different personality from me in Georgian. Georgia with all day Ilya, the truth as the well looking forward to his next fight, maybe Gaethje. They were saying Gaethje, but I think they canceled it, and essentially it's Paddy. But then someone else was saying Gaethje again. I still say for Paramount they're still gonna stick with Paddy. I mean, except apart from Islam Makhachev, that would be a very great fight. But since he went up, and we'll see how it goes, how he does it in the welterweight. Arman Tsarukyan might be the hardest match, but it's also not like crazy hard. I think Ilya is still gonna be able to knock him out. But yeah, those are basically so far the contenders. You have Paddy, you have Gaethje, that is a little bit older, and you have Arman Tsarukyan. And I think they will keep Arman. Well, Arman's is having a fight with the Hooker, right? So he having fighting with Dan Hooker, and he's probably going to win that fight. And after that, he's going to have a title shot, which is a little bit, well, a little bit fair at least, because he wanted the title shot after bailing on his title shot with Islam Makhachev in the rematch. So for very stupid reason. I'll be honest, I'm not really a fan of Tsarukyan personality-wise. But I give him a credit as a fighter. I think he's quite a dangerous fighter. Yeah, I'll keep scrolling up, guys. Trying to go through all the comments. How are you doing today? Doing well. Thank you. How you doing, Jen? What's your favorite Pokemon? Pokemon Go. I never played the Pokemon Go. You remind me of the Soviet-style woman sniper. Well, look up. There is actually, I think she's like in the top 5 or top 10, the best world snipers amongst men, like everyone. So she's like a one female. Her name is Lyudmila Pavlichenko. I think she was from. I'm not sure. She was. It was Soviet Union, but I think she was from some more like from Ukrainian part. And she survived the Sevastopol war. Battle, which that was the blockaded area, and it was like so many people died there. The only ones that survived were the ones who who managed to be evacuated from there. And she was one of those people. And she had like 300 something bodies on her, and Nazis had a reward on her head or something. So it's actually a true story. There is a movie. There is a Russian movie on it. I've seen that movie, but it's also yeah, you can just read it up. Her name is again Lyudmila Pavlichenko, but you can look for the best female sniper or like a Russian female sniper. Georgie's in the bucket list. I would have to train to get mounties and course level up on grappling and overall hard work. I respect the culture so much. Great grandfather was born there. Oh really? Oh, that's cool. So you're definitely the Georgia. The roots are calling. Hey, just want to say thanks again for singing Janis Joplin's song for me. It was my mother's favorite singer, and it brought tears to my eyes. It was when you were at the bar doing karaoke. Much love, you're cool AF. Hey, thank you. I mean, that's been a while ago, and I actually remember you asking me because there were a few requests of different songs, and I think you were the only person who requested Janis Joplin. I think I sang the piece of my what's the piece of my heart, or like what's the call of the name? Take another piece of my heart. Oh baby, yeah, like that song. So yeah, you're welcome. I mean, maybe I haven't been in the bar, honestly, getting back to the routine and training more, but once I go there, I'll talk to them if I can take it one day, if they want some diversity, because there is other girl working now and she's doing great, but she's not singer either. She just, super cool life. So if they're gonna want me to do like once a week, I'll start live streaming it again for sure. It was quite a massive fun, guys. I never even tried the food, sadly. That's okay, that's fixable. But I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of Georgian food. I prefer Asian Vietnamese food, way healthier, taste-wise. My favorite Georgian food, don't get me wrong, it's delicious, and there are moments that I'm craving Georgian food, but if you try to stay on it all the time, it's super heavy in calories, and super like a lot of pastry, a lot of carbs, a lot of cheese. It's not that well balanced nutrition-wise. There might be some separate dishes, but again, like things like khachapuri, khinkali, kubdari, those are basically super carb heavy, super high calorie, and it's very easy to gain weight if you eat that every day. Super center backgrounds, goodbye, stay fun, have tours. Thank you for hopping in this live stream. Come to Los Angeles. Well, one day when I get approved with my visa to US, yes, one day I'll do that. Do you have any pets? Well, back at home, but because I travel a lot now there at my mom, so I had the cat that I brought, but me and my mom used to live together at that point, so it's her cat now. So yeah, the couple cats there, and my father, they're divorced, so my father lives separate, and he brought also a cat, because we all are animal lovers, both cat and dogs. We love animals. So, but right now I don't have, because that would be so much pain in the ass to carry documents. It's always like not all airlines accept animals, so that would be quite hard to do. Sadly, it might be rape. American New York elected the Muslim Socialist Communist for mayor yesterday. Crazy, crazy time here in US. Yes, I've seen that one, and I don't understand why. I think what, like the socialist ideas in the US, how they are portrayed is as an equality for everyone, social equality for everyone, but it just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. That's why there is a meme, there's a very good meme that Eastern Europeans like looking at the Western kids praising communism and socialism, they're looking like really? I think the only anything close to socialism, I think one of the countries that relatively works, but it's social democracy. Maybe social democracy is something that works, at least in Norway, I guess. And there are some other places, but that's it. Pure socialism is like a precursor to communism. Actually, the only country that works, that is official communism, like communist, it's China communist. China is, do they have an emperor still? So I don't know. Is it a communist? Like, sorry, like I don't know. I'm actually, I might sound stupid now, but I don't remember how it's in China exactly. I think they have like a mixed system. Here in Vietnam, it's communism, but I'll tell you, because their lives are operating on the capitalism. Everyone sells something, their businesses open, people own businesses. As a foreigner, you can own business, but you know you have to have a share with the Vietnamese person, something like that. But it's not like a Cuba, for example. Even though they have a good relationship, but if you come, Cuba is the real communism, right? And it's not fun. It's not good. It's not good for people. It's sad. So yeah, I don't understand why. I think it's just portrayed in a certain way that people. And the people who are in the bubble, they just perceive that as something positive. But in reality, it doesn't work as positive as it sounds. Sure, you're right. I forgot Gagey lost Oliveira. Let's go Ilya versus Patty. Yeah, I mean, they were talking about the Gagey Ilya first, but now it's been most likely going to be Patty. Keep your hands off Turkey and stop playing games with Russia. Oh, well, I mean, Russia is also playing games. It's quite a big player. But that's the thing. China, America, well, a little bit India, Pakistan too. Well, basically all the nuclear the nuclear weapon countries that they have the war for, say, including North Korea apparently. But then also you have the, generally, top 1 to 3 countries in the world that hold the largest economy in the world. They manipulate the markets, they manipulate the wars. Well, you can't blame them, because this is the thing. If US drops out and becomes even second to China, can you imagine how world changes? Can you imagine all of a sudden the world currency becomes yen and Chinese, and that's like a list that's just like a metaphoric change, examples. I'm talking about like real changes in everything. And some economy is gonna get, some countries' economy is gonna completely messed. Like, it's not stable at this point as well, because it's like so much things are going on. Apart from the wars, there is a technology bout between those two, and you have the AI, and we don't even know what's there gonna happen at some point. So that is a little bit of gray area. So that's the thing. As much as you can hate US, if US stays as the world's first country, and it keeps the core values as the democracy and constitution and what they've been pretty much since the founding fathers, well, we're gonna have relatively similar the world what we have, and it's gonna go a certain way. But then if that changes, we don't know what's gonna even happen at all. So we're in that fucked situation. And I'm talking as a person being in Vietnam, and I'm one of those like me and my husband are nomadic people. We just travel around, live our lives, and Well, that's what I think a lot of people try to find. They try to find a little peace, and sometimes it's in completely different countries, further from their political situation in their own countries, which obviously smaller countries like Georgia get influenced both by Russian influence and Western influence, for example. And it's just super, super, super complex. But anyways, I keep scrolling up, guys. Don't want to be too behind on the chat. But also, my phone's gonna die soon, so I'm gonna probably stop the live stream. Stop eating dog. Oh yeah, I think a lot of people in Vietnam, actually, here in the Trang, a lot of people have pet dogs, not like eating dogs. So it's unless somewhere in the black market, and there's some bad people who can steal, can kidnap your pets. So be careful when you're in Vietnam. Be very cautious and careful of your pets. Don't let them out like without the attention. But a lot of Vietnamese people themselves are like, some of them don't eat dog meat at all, and they're quite. I think when the West and the tourists started coming more in, I think they brought that kind of thing that, okay, we don't eat dogs and cats, they're like companions. I think that influenced culture. That's one of the examples that sometimes outside cultural influence can impact your culture in a positive way too. Well, why do people love Fidel Castro? Well, maybe for the same reason why some Georgians love our oligarch Bidzina Ivanishvili, who is, and because he's technically he's billionaire, and he has quite a lot of money, and he has a big influence. He owns the party, GD party, and I do believe he did some, and he's doing some charity. And there are some, how to say that, if you're sticking with the party, if you're sticking, as long as you're a worker for supporting them, you might get something. It doesn't mean that it's big or little something. Some people will still live in poverty, but on the election periods, they get a little bit, they're like, okay, you just come and go join the concert and the event I make, and I tell you a little bit of this and that, and people, like they have at that intelligence level, people have the tendency to worship someone who does something, but in reality, like in the higher standard, in the higher societies, that's just the bare minimum. And I'm not being, bare minimum in the way that you have to demand. But for example, in democracy, for government coming in the power and doing their job, like infrastructure, like a certain, improving certain fields, it's not being heroes, and it's not being, like a reason to worship them. It's just them doing their job in a good way, the way how they're supposed to, right? So I think that's kind of the same reason. There's certain things, there are certain ideas, there are certain stances that Fidel Castro had, and people just followed it. But I like this phrase that intentions can be good, but it can lead to the bad things. Incentives are more important rather than intentions. Intentions can even good intentions can lead you the wrong way. Hi from Arizona. Hi to Arizona. AI is going to take over almost all the jobs. Unemployment will be catastrophic. Well, that's one thing, but that might be adaptable in its own way. There might be other jobs. There might be people very simple. From the digital world, we're not going to have that many YouTubers, digital nomads, that kind of stuff. We're going to have more people who actually get back to the professions like plumbing and building things can get more popular. Things that maybe AI can do for a little bit longer. But maybe if we get those robots in the mass production, they're super agile, super flexible, and they actually can do what like a physical labor, but 10 times better than person. Well, then I don't know. They're probably going to have a machinery war between machines and humans. But that's the thing. Even now, there are talks about we need to, since AI is already there, we need to set the program, the algorithm, the way that we leave coexist and live symbiotically, and kind of like it's going to be better to get ingrained AI within in us rather than let them erase us completely. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit scary choice, but well, that might be a dilemma that we might be standing in front of and near future. Have you ever visited India? Yes. The most beautiful woman I have ever seen. I don't think so, but thank you. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up, guys. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Yeah, that's actually the exact wording. Thank you, Kyla. Hello to everyone. Kyla, I like that quote, smart. Maybe other countries will be okay, but most Americans are too ignorant and lazy to go learn a new trade. Yeah, as much as like things like what Americans definitely went loose on is like obesity rates and certain like the products, the GMOs, like it's horrible. Like it really affects the future generations. But what I see is like actually Gen Zs are kind of stepping up in the way they actually have more of they want to be stronger. So it's kind of a period for US that the good times created weak men or weak people, and now the weak people created the bad times, adversities, and now those adversities create. So I hope Gen Z and Gen Alpha are going to get converted more to older values in some ways. It doesn't have to be everything. It actually definitely doesn't have to be in everything, but you got to be tough in this life. You got to prioritize your family, your community, your country. You gotta have to understand that as much as we are in like all in the world and it's way more civil between the countries, there is still, it's like we're tribal people, and there was always tribe against tribe, country against the country. So you need to learn how to prioritize your country. You need to respect others, but also demand that same respect in your country. And I've seen a lot of like right-wing Gen Zs because of the certain things that just went out of the control in like a previous like 10-year-old generation in US. In Georgia, it's kind of like a little bit different process. They're definitely Gen Z from Georgia. I'm Gen Z. Gen Z from Georgia in countries like post-Soviet countries, and Gen Z US are two different species. I can tell you that. Great. How was your experience in India? Very interesting. We spent like a month, me and my husband, and we were in Mumbai, Goa, Amritsar, Haridwar, Rishikesh, and Delhi. And it was very interesting. Especially, I loved Rishikesh. I loved Goa and Rishikesh the most. It was more peaceful, more spiritual, beautiful nature, and people lovely, and food, delicious food. Women had it easy compared to us. Oh yeah, of course they had, because they are going right after the strong generation that was built by adversities, 2 world wars, basically. The generation that were like they fought in the World War II, but they were born and they almost had stripped their childhood away because of the World War I. So basically, yeah, that generation, and it's called the greatest generation, and then their children, the next generation are boomers. They had easier, and then it's like went on. No, but it's again, it's varies. The countries where you had some civil wars and like inter-regional wars, like Georgia, for example, that breaks down even in a smaller scale. So there is like the fluctuations almost from like 5-10 years can make a difference from the generation. Like someone who is 5 years older, 10 years younger can have a completely different mentality because the fluctuation of the adversity versus the wealth. What do you love the most about India? I think the spirituality. One thing, definitely the caste system. I think like modern India trying to fight it off and decrease it, and it's hard when it's 1.5 billion. But the one thing I noticed that they're temples, and it's like Hindu temples, Buddhist temples, Jain temples, like different temples. And there I've seen rich people literally coming off the like a super tall building, and then person in the tent living down there, going to the same temple and listening to the same mantras, listening to the same stuff. So I didn't feel segregation when it comes to the spirituality. And there was something interesting. There was that interesting vibe about it. I think that's how I perceived it, how I liked it. You're so intelligent. It's always a treat to listen to what you have to say. I appreciate it, Kyla. And as I said, like when I say Gen Z from Georgia is different, you have no idea how many Georgians my age, slightly older, sometimes slightly younger, so educated, even way more educated, way more like both common sense, but also academically equipped. They're so smart. Like, there is no surprise we feel a little bit older. You know what I mean? That's why, well, my husband is older than me. That's why a lot of my friends are way older than me. And the friends that are young to my age, they usually have the problems and lifestyles that I cannot understand anymore. So I'm kind of like, I'm trying to guide them, you know, because obviously they ask for advice and stuff like that. But I think that's why me and you, Kyla, like you're 36 years old, but we're like on the same vibe and maybe same emotional and intellectual development level, because it's just different countries. And again, in post-Soviet, that we've seen some adversity. Even my generation, there are some adversities. There have been some, like, even though I'm not coming from the toughest background, but there was definitely not easy in the times. And that gives you a sense of reality from the very early in your life. And I think that is one of the biggest factors. Apart from the age, it's really the environment where you're shaped. And well, it takes to learn English for all of us and know the common language to be able to share and communicate those experiences and bond. Hi from Brazil, hi. Hope you're doing well. What a beautiful, outstandingly fine performance and job. Well done. Brilliance, bringing an educational skills, purposes, teaching in. That was an interesting way to put it. Thanks. Well, sometimes, yeah, we don't do training here only. We talk about stuff. Sometimes I just have Q&As like that. And well, thank you guys for joining in. Are you Gen Z? Yes, I am Gen Z. I was born year 2000, so 25 years old. What do you think what happens when you die? I don't think anyone exactly knows, but I don't exactly believe on, I don't reject heaven and hell idea, because it's actually interesting. Even in Hinduism, as much as they believe in a reincarnation and joining that Brahma, like the whole conscious, which you can call it God, you can call it the entity, the universe, they actually have sort of like a realms as similar to heaven and hell. So those realms or those worlds exist, but I don't think that's the only thing that exists. I definitely believe in reincarnations. I believe at the like the cycles and different experiences of the different worlds and universes. I think it also well aligns with I kind of like to find the parallels with the science theories, and the multiverse theory is getting stronger, you know, nowadays. It's getting more some proof and some ground. And I love, especially Buddhism has that tendency. They like to, the Buddhist preachers, they always say that they don't want to reject science. They always want to align, and they're ready to update and evolve together with the science. And that's how it should be. So yeah, it's way more complex. And I think definitely in the spirituality, it's called egregor, meaning that Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, or paganism, different paganism, or how you call that, when you have many gods and one god, so that type of religions, philosophies. So they're different realms, different egregors, and all of them have accumulated their own energy. All of them have following. All of them have, obviously, they strive in certain eras or decline in certain eras. Also, we have a new religion, which is AI and artificial intelligence and basically, all of that. So it's very interesting that what if all of it actually is the past to something that is the whole, right? So that's why I don't understand the actual fights and the arguing about that. Oh no, everything else is wrong and only my beliefs, my religion is right. Well, beliefs are called beliefs that you cannot prove it. You can only believe in it, right? So what's the point into what if it's just the one of the past? What if it's just one of the branches? And in spirituality, there is actually it's called egregor or realm, and you can there are different energies. For example, I find Eastern, like Buddhist, Hinduism, way more lighter, way more shining, way more like accepting human's nature, not rejecting it. When Abrahamic religions are more restricting, as much as, for example, Christianity stands out as the forgiving and loving and compassionate. But at the same time, there are more like restrictions. You need to restrict your certain human needs, right? When in the Eastern religions, it's accepted as normal, but obviously it's also talks about the balance, talks about the that everything that is excessive, even from the chakra point of view. I'm reading a little bit more about chakras these days, and they're like, if you just tend to delve into something way too much, you always break that balance, and that almost never benefits you unless you do that temporarily. Sometimes you just need to get into your masculine, let's say, energy and be more conquering in your life and more demanding. Sometimes you need more chill and more patient, so that is quite normal to switch. But if you just delve into something and just get stuck there, I think every religion, every philosophy, and it's like one of the inherent truths maybe, always says that it's not good for you. So yeah, it's just interesting to observe. Why waste time to think what's going to happen after die, living in the present? Well, also, yeah, I mean, it's just training your brain, just training your imagination, your creativity. Why not? But at the same time, you should not, I believe, you should not really overthink it in a way that, oh, what's going to happen? No, live in the present. That's actually one of the preachings that all of the religions, the good part of it actually tells us to live in the present, focus on the present. Let go of the past, learn from it, have some future plans, but don't try to always chase that future. You gotta live and stay in the present. And this is when you pray, when you meditate, when you do training practice, exercising practice, you actually put your brain state, your body state into the present. That's the different techniques how to do it. Okay, yeah, someone believes in the Hindu reincarnation. That's bad karma, you end up into some animal body. Have you ever about Osho Rajneesh? Yes, I haven't read anything of him, but I think I've seen some books here actually. God is the biggest lie that human ever produced. I mean, it's your right to think. I'm definitely I'm for agnosticism. But like full atheism, to me, also I cannot understand that either, because just thinking that things just happen and that's it. Well, my gut feeling cannot tell me that. I think there is something, but I also don't downgrade it just like a God as a just human visual. It's more like there is something greater than, and you know what? You can actually prove it. This mountain over there is greater than me, and this whole country is so much greater than me, like bigger than me, greater, massive. Then let's take this planet. I'm just a dot, comparing to it. And then let's take that planet. We already have actual science about our galaxy, the other the solar systems and all that kind of stuff, right? So there is something greater, right? That we can actually see and split into the level. So there is only one question. We cannot look beyond a certain point at this point. There is just no possible way for us. And that is fascinating. And that is idea of, well, some people call it God. I like to call it universe as it is to me. It's something that keeps expanding and it's beyond the human brain comprehension. Our souls are for forever, the bodies are temporary. After we die, we will sure go somewhere. Where you go, this is a choice. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, and it's like a belief, and you might be right. Someone else might be right, or all of us might be right. What if the way how we imagine it and how we live it, that is the way how we end up? What if it's so individual that it's not even funny, and all those wars and arguments and fights about the religion, who's right, who's wrong, is complete a waste of time. Well, next time we're on the training. But my phone is dying. I gotta stop this live stream because I need to find a place to how to charge it. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. And yeah, I see you in the next live stream. Ciao.